going to be Lotus Field here from Adrian. And you're not going to find anything too wild here either. You know, you're of course going to see the new card, Archdruid's Charm, 4 copies of that. It was fantastic in the last match there for Adrian. You're going to see the Omniscience, the Tutor for the Emergent Ultimatums when you're going off, the Lotus Fields and the abilities to find them, and of course the Hidden Strings and the Vizier to be able to untap the Lotus Fields and go absolutely nuts with those. So nothing crazy or out of the ordinary in the main deck here for Adrian. If you're Adrian, boy, you don't want Ashiok to show up.
All right, there's a look at the players and the decks here. There can be only one undefeated by the end of this. But Cedric, I'm going to talk to you about the tipping point in this match coming up. Is the bird the word?
The bird certainly is the word here for Jesse. For me, Jesse's got to do a couple of things in this matchup, but most notably, it's got to have at least 2 Phoenixes on turn number 3, which the deck is certainly capable of. There's got to be some favorable kind of cantripping and milling taking place. But again, don't sleep on Ashiok being on the battlefield, because if you watch this match and you see Ashiok in the battlefield, Jesse is almost assuredly winning because that card is so good in the matchup. That's part of the reason that Great Team Handshake started that Planeswalker this weekend.
All right, everyone, it's time for the final round of day 1 of competition. Who will remain undefeated? We're about to find out. Alien Courier in the booth with the call. Take it away, you two.
Thanks so much, Maria. Thank you, Cedric. Corey, this is the last round. We are going to find out who our undefeated player of the day is going to be. Who do you favor in this one? Is it Arclight Phoenix or is it a Lotus combo?
I think it's Lotus combo. We have kind of been seeing this matchup be pretty dominant from the Lotus Field deck, but with those 2 copies of Ashiok, that is going to really flip it around. So if anyone can do it, it's going to be Jesse here, who is one heck of a Magic player. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this.
Yeah, I think he's been blessed by the rich Hagen gods behind the scenes because, fun fact, in our pre-show meetings and that, Rich was like, yeah, you guys aren't paying attention. Jesse Hampton, he's a really, really good Magic player and undefeated right now, so.
He was so confident as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yes, he will win this, absolutely, and he's calling it so far. And
yeah, that cold shot like 2 weeks before the event. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So kicking things off here is Jesse Hampton. Going to take a look at the top of the library. Something to hand, the rest at the bottom. So kicking things off nicely here, getting that yard filled with goodies.
Yeah, and Adrian's got to be feeling really good about this, sitting down for the 8-0 match with just beating Phoenix in the last round. Now, there were no Ashioks or anything, but the match was still a struggle. That was an incredible match, by the way. If you didn't get to see that, go and rewind on that one.
That was really cool, yeah.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. We saw all of the modes being activated from the charm, from the Archdruid's charm, and Adrian really made that look good.
All the Lotus combo players are just like, ah, when that card is revealed, I'm sure. Excellent stuff indeed. 2 blue mana for Jesse, so should Ashiok Dream Render show up on turn 3, he'll be able to get that down.
Yeah, and there is the Lotus Field from Adrian. That is kind of the step number 1 of the deck. I think I saw Hidden Strings as well, a Vizier. So really everything kind of wrapped up once Adrian has just given enough time. So yeah, I think it is really going to be important to see that Ashiok or for Jesse to have one of these absurd Phoenix turns this turn.
So far just a bunch of cantrips and Fiery Impulse in the bin. So far consider dunking a couple of things in there. Arclight Phoenix nowhere to be found right now though, unfortunately for Jesse. So the turn 3 Phoenix that Cedric was hoping for isn't on the cards this time around.
Yep, not really. And this is really the toughest game for Jesse to win too, because you have so much removal in here that is just completely dead. You know, all these Fiery Impulses are going to be taken out for different counter spells. So this would be a really nice one for Jesse to win. And that's kind of why these Lotus Field decks have such a great matchup against these Phoenix decks is, well, the game 1 is so dominant, and then it evens out a little bit when Jesse can bring in some counter spells. But yeah, really rough for Jesse for game number 1.
Digging through his library now, Treasure Cruise, fed from the rest of the graveyard using the Delve ability, so let's see what he has to follow up with the next turn. But a pretty stocked hand so far, shocking in the breeding pool. What do we have here from Adrian?
Yeah, could easily just be casting the Vizier. No, goes for the Charm right away to play around any potential counter spells that we might have. One of Spell Pierce in this case from Jesse's list. And just getting that Thespian stage in play now. You know, that is interesting to not go for the Lotus Field right away. And Adrian really didn't even flinch about it. So really shows how well he knows this Lotus Field deck, and I've been incredibly impressed watching him on camera all day.
Oh yeah, these guys are both just cool as cucumbers. 7-0, having the ideal start to their Pro Tour here this weekend. And one of them looking to advance to a perfect record. Now we're going to sleight of hand once again. Have a look and see anything. Oh, is it a birdie?
It's two birds.
Two
we got
birds.
Shredder and
Nice.
Arclight Phoenix. Let's see which bird is the word here for Jesse.
And bottom.
Alrighty, goodbye Phoenix. So it is going to be Ledger Shredder. Haven't really seen this little pigeon go off so far, huh?
Not really. You know, some of the matches that we've been seeing is against non-creature decks, non-Rakdos mid-range, where it doesn't exactly shine, but definitely still has some text.
Let's see if this is Ledger Shredder's game to shine as the turn passes back here now to Adrian. How far are we from trouble from Adrian's side of things?
You know, if Adrian just knew for sure that that one of Spell Pierce wasn't there, or if Adrian was in a lot of trouble, maybe this was a turn where Adrian could have tried to force it through. But recognizing there's not pressure, even if you bring back all 4 Phoenixes, you know, that's only going to be, what, 13, 14 damage max? Adrian for sure has the time. Might as well give yourself the best possible draw of winning next turn. And boy, can he win next turn by the quick glance of it. His hand looks extremely powerful. Yeah, I see 2 Viziers, Impulse, and either Pour Over the Pages or Hidden Strings, so has a lot going on there.
Sure does, and 2 copies effectively of Lotus Field on the board, so now just needs the opportunity to go and do his thing. So Jesse's going to shock in the Steam Vents here.
Would be a
What
big turn for
does he
Ashiok.
have? Yeah.
Would be a huge turn
that
for
would
it.
be brutal.
Yep.
Ashiok, you there, bud?
A bit.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking to Nathan Stoyer yesterday at the players' party, and this seems to be the exact same list that Nathan played, and was just talking about all the application that Ashiok has. But first and foremost, I was like, what do you like it the most against?
Yeah.
And said, without pause, you know, Lotus Field. It
Wow,
is for
cool.
that, and then secondary, pretty good against the Mirror and Amalia and stuff like that. But it's really for Lotus as this matchup. They really need the help.
Yeah, no, Ashiok is a great catch-all inclusion to the main deck that hasn't really been shaken up all that much.
Yeah.
since
Yeah, that's
the introduction of Pioneer.
Yeah, that's a card we've seen as a, you know, a sideboard hate card in Modern a lot with a lot of fetch lands, but not as much here in Pioneer, as you don't search your library as often. But turns out it has a lot of applications.
All right, the mana cards coming out here. Got 1 blue floating.
Depending on what Adrian takes here will tell a lot about the hand. If you take the Charm, you kind of got it all wrapped up. You can go get Lear and kind of get going. If you take the Vizier, maybe you still need to find some stuff. Not really sure exactly what he took, though.
1 blue. Okay.
Have another copy of Lotus Field on the battlefield.
Yeah, Magic gets a little easier when you get to make 3 land drops a turn with one of your lands, huh?
Not too shabby. We're going to see Picklock Prankster free the Fae, mill a couple cards, and return something to hand.
Still no Ashioks in sight, it looks like, but we're going to go for another Free the Fae, which gets to trigger Ledger Shredder as well.
Yeah. Connive, so let's see how the triggers are stacked here.
Ledger Shredder trigger.
Okay, cool. Wow, all right.
Yeah, consider the trigger and then
Yeah,
the
like
free.
Consider a trigger and then Fae. Yeah.
A beautiful play.
Okay.
Like this just shows the mastery of your deck. Like these little minor things. It makes sense though. You want to consider first, because let's say you draw a land here you don't want to draw, and Jesse didn't have a land in hand before casting that consider. Now all of a sudden you have to discard a spell where if you have a bad card here with this connive, you get to discard a bad card. So really nice sequencing there from Jesse.
All right, 3 cards, let's see.
Impulse.
Shredder, Impulse, and 2
That's
lands, so
Yeah.
Not what you want here, but let's see if this next turn gets to start with a Treasure Cruise, kind of the ideal card after you just put 7 cards into your graveyard.
yeah, that graveyard's pretty full.
Yeah, and I did see a Treasure Cruise, so we at least can take a peek at that. and see if you can find this Ashiok. And I keep harping on the Ashiok because we're at this stage of the game where Adrián isn't even close to dead. So like normally you think, wow, maybe I can get 2-3 Phoenixes back, finish the game, but at this point you need to stop Adrián from doing something, and game 1 from this particular Phoenix list, there's not a lot you can do to disrupt the deck outside of Ashiok.
Yeah.
The one of Spell Pierce is gone at this point. It's not going to do anything when your opponent already has 10 mana.
It's quite funny to think about. It's like, oh, it's just 4 lands on the battle. No, 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 no. Look again.
Yes. Squint, sees
Yeah.
Urzatron, you know?
Oh, yeah. Effectively.
Pretty
yeah.
close, yes.
Do we find Ashiok, the treasure cruise? Summon the
I see it.
planeswalker to this plane.
There it is.
There it is, yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Now we'll see if Adrián has anything to counteract that, or if it's fully needed. I mean, looking at this Lotus Field list, there is basically every card that says search your library to start. So it's going to be pretty brutal to combo without it.
Archdruid's Charm, an excellent card indeed. Doesn't deal with planeswalkers, however.
No, not really. The one thing I think I do see from Adrián is a Fae of Wishes. Now that's not searching your library. That is
No, yeah.
searching your sideboard here. So I think that one does work. Yeah, it absolutely does work, but it's
Oh yeah, there's
now,
no search in that text at all. So
now it's a question of, is there even a card in the sideboard? And there's one unauthorized visit. Unauthorized exit, excuse me.
yeah. Wow, Ashiok in the bin.
Wow.
You hate to see that.
Combat.
Still has the
There's one
other
in
one in
hand.
hand. Yeah, you never really need 2 of those.
Looked away for a second. I was like, why did they get discarded? Nope, there's the second copy. In hand, starts at 5, so let's get to milling and exiling that graveyard. So before that resolves, we're going to fire off the Archdruid's Charm from Adrian's side of things and go and find a land. Or a creature, I don't know.
Could
Maybe.
definitely find Lear. That's the only other creature. Already has the Fae of Wishes in play, so
Yeah.
it's either that or one of the lands already has the Lotus Field, plenty of them. So
What about our Boreal Grazer?
you never
We
know.
could,
Yeah,
we could go get that. He's our hero.
there you go.
Good.
All right, and there is Ashiok
Pass.
targeting Adrián. Maybe you hit one of the cards they very much need off Emergent Ultimatum, so definitely does something.
So things looking pretty good here now for Jesse, having resolved Ashiok Dream Render. Has the pressure going with the Ledger Shredder, but what can Adrián do with these lovely mana counting cards?
Yeah, it's always looking good for the player until these 3
Yeah.
cards come out. Then it always is a little bit scary.
Yeah, that's kind of when the starts.
It's your turn. Yeah. What have you done so far? So I've like cycled the Vizier. So I had 3 mana, spent 2, and tap my land, and now again. So that's why I've gone like +1 mana. What you doing your turn?
Played Treasure Cruise at Gong 7. Played Opt, Shredder triggered. Discarded Ashiok, Shredder trigger, resolved Opt.
Okay.
Played Ashiok.
And maybe.
And then he responded to Ashiok by playing Archdruid. I spell pierce the Archdruid.
Okay. Can I see your hand?
Sure.
Okay. Judges maybe just specifying, making sure
I added the mana, but I don't. I haven't
everything is
Oh, just-
okay.
yeah,
Do you have any
I
cards?
didn't see anything out of the ordinary, but
I think I had 9 after I'm not sure, really, 6 or 7. I don't know. I think I had 9 after I cruised.
okay. Just making sure everything is okay
Right.
here.
Make sure everything is on the up and up here in this round 8 of the Pro Tour.
Sorry to delay you folks. We're good here. We just had some questions about number of cards in hand. But is
Good.
everything is good. Again, sorry to delay. No, it's
Can we get extension?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
can
I
we go
drew-
back? You cycled. You have one float or
Yeah, so
one
I
floating?
like cycled, one floating,
Now you're going to
draw,
Yeah.
and like now I just shortcut. I didn't draw yet. The one from the, so
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
4,
So you're gonna have 2.
2, yeah,
Sure.
and I draw. So I draw one mana.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, so
You have
judges
7
just
cards?
checking, making sure everything is hunky-dory, and it seems that that is the resolution to that case.
Yep, absolutely. Maybe making sure we didn't draw an extra card, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Vizier of Tumbling Sands cycled a bunch. We have Pour of the Pages now. What can we find here for Adrian?
Yeah, and just has to generate a ton of mana here to be able to use that Fae of Wishes for the granted side and then Unauthorized Visit. That's 6 mana, and then it's if you can combo after that. So that 6 mana is those 2 Lotus Fields on the left. Then you have 4 more mana. I saw that we just had a Hidden Strings drawn off the Pour Over the Pages. So that's going to be 2 floating plus 2 untapped Lotus Field. That's 8 mana. So if there's Emergent Ultimatum
Okay.
as well, we should be all wrapped up here through an Ashiok, which is pretty impressive.
Of course.
Unauthorized Exit, another pretty cool card from Murders a Call of Mana. So
Did
Yeah.
you discard yet? You discard the field?
even
you
commons are making an impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're good.
That's a lot of Arboreal Grazers in hand, though, I must say. Not exactly what Adrian wants here on turn 8 or whatever.
Yeah, you're late to the party there, bud. I know you're a sloth, but come on.
Yeah. I mean, that is 3 Arboreal Grazers, 1 Fae, and then I believe 1 Hidden Strings, and then a Mystery card, so nothing amazing so far.
Yeah.
Wish granted. Second spell cost, so there goes a Phoenix into the bin. Ledger Shredder conniving away.
We have both on an adventure.
Let's go get our sideboard.
Ones there.
All those creatures on an adventure there, and there is the card we were talking about.
Yep. So Unauthorized Exit will have an answer, will be the answer for the Ashiok Dream Render, allowing Adrian
You have no floating?
No
right now?
floating, no anything.
Okay.
to dig further and try and wrap this game up.
Yep, and if we go for it right now, you would think you're doing...
Okay.
Right, I'm adding that to my achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
3 Arboreal
You wanna play the
Grazers
one?
off 1 Lotus Field. Oh, you can go?
Yeah, and I think that was
Okay.
just Hidden Strings and Unauthorized Exit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Perhaps end step. Unauthorized Exit. We'll see.
And honestly, all looking back to that Spell Pierce on the charm, without that, Lear here would have still probably done it. You know, there's another Pour Over the Pages, you get to just keep doing that.
I will take.
So a really timely Spell Pierce there in response to that Ashiok.
Oh, yeah.
The one of.
Picklock Prankster. Another excellent inclusion to the Phoenix deck here.
Oh yeah.
Milling a bunch of cards. Not hitting all too many Phoenixes.
Yeah, not really. And with these 3 Arboreal Grazers, it seems kind of like a meme right now, but it is a bit of
It's
a
relevant.
roadblock. Yeah. You want to get in there with that Hall of the Storm Giant?
No,
Grazer.
yeah.
You want to attack with your Ledger Shredder?
Grazer.
Yeah.
Go, Grazer.
Yeah.
Boy.
Minus Ashiok targeting you.
Yep.
Okay, so
Oh,
definitely just
targeting
trying to
you.
get
Okay.
hits here.
Oh, okay.
Those are some good hits, but the main thing it does here is neutralize Lear's effectiveness, which is a very big deal because if you get that Emergent Ultimatum package, normally you want to get Omniscience, Lear, Pour Over the Pages, maybe Dark Petition, but now not only is Dark Petition not great, Spell Mastery is turned off, Lear is pretty turned off as well. Like now you look at the Emergent Ultimatum packages, it has to be something like Omniscience, Pour Over the Pages, and like Archdruid's Charm, question mark? You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's not great. So it does neutralize that effect just by Ashiok using the actual ability, not just the static.
Fae of Wishes, you can return it to your hand. You have to discard 2 cards, though. So
Yeah.
there is, that route, too, going and finding the Approach of the Second Sun.
Yeah, getting the Approach of the Second Sun and having to find it the old-fashioned way,
Yeah, it's
though,
kind of
of drawing down is not great. That's for sure.
Oh, are we taking extra turns?
All right, there it is.
Oh.
And that's going to be one Phoenix coming back at least. I think it was only one. But then that's 2 creatures coming in. Arboreal Grazer probably goes in front of the Shredder, takes 3. And then there's some world where Jesse could cobble together a win the next turn with a Lightning Axe on one of the other Grazers, something like that.
Removal does matter, Corey.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, go to 11.
Yeah. Time walk turn.
Flowery Impulse can take care of the annoying little sloths hanging out there. They are beasts, but you know, we all know it's a sloth.
So as it stands, there's that Galvanic Iteration in the graveyard and a Lightning Axe in hand. So no matter what, if Jesse wants to, Jesse can clear out the Grazers, plus put a counter on Ledger Shredder. That's 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So if we can find one more Phoenix, Jesse's got this already.
Yeah, there's no direct damage in any of the burn spells.
Nope.
It's all just critters.
Yep. Otherwise, Jesse's hand doesn't look great. I saw a couple lands and a couple axes.
Let's see if Ashiok can find anything.
Milieu.
Millen again. Adrian, what are we hitting?
Some more goods.
Yeah, pretty decent hits off of the Ashiok Mill on Adrian.
Yep. Got to get that
Very good
Grazer out of that
exile.
graveyard as well, but
yeah.
you know, not going to be too relevant.
Let's kick things off here after that activation of Ashiok. We're going to Fiery Impulse one of these Arboreal Grazers, so just one blocker in the air.
And axe available for the other one. But then we still need to find some more damage, which it doesn't look like. There's one cantrip, Spire Bluff Canal, and then one mystery card there.
We would hit a Connive, so there's a cantrip available
Yep.
once the Ledger Shredder triggers.
Yeah, so here's a Connive and Consider. Connive first. A Phoenix wins the first game here.
For sure. So we're looking for another lovely red pigeon.
Oh,
So
lose
can
on
we
top.
find it for Jesse?
I'll draw.
So Consider.
Okay.
Consider.
Okay.
Land in the bin, Shredder in the bin, and then draw. Is it? No, it's not a bird.
But there is a Treasure Cruise here.
So let's look for some more stuff here, Corey.
Yep, and with the Lightning Axe in hand from Jesse, if you just draw one of the Phoenixes here, you can discard it to the Grazer. That's why Jesse decided to not Galvanic Iteration and kill this Grazer.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Perfect. So Lightning Axe discarding the Arclight Phoenix.
Lightning Axe discarding Phoenix.
And Adrian, unless he's got something in hand to stop this attack, that is going to be lethal coming through. Exaxes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah, of course,
yeah.
we knew
Authorize
about
action.
that, yep. But that means Ashiok stays on the battlefield. Now
Yeah.
I just think it's tough for Adrian to actually win the game. Emergent Ultimatum doesn't anything, so yeah, it's a bit of a roadblock, but
Still alive. Yeah.
yes. But yeah, like that keeps Adrian alive, but I don't think he can actually win the game with Ashiok on the battlefield.
So recasting the Ledger Shredder now. Let's see a draw. Anything going here for Adrian? I don't know if he would be able to find another way. A Brazen Borrow off the sideboard would take Ashiok off, but that feels like way too many things to do with this army of birds.
Yep. And yeah, no Brazen Borrower to be found here in Adrian's list. And yeah, that's the thing is most of these
sideboard, yeah.
Yeah, most of these Lotus Field decks play Chandra. That was kind of the normal thing. So Chandra can kind of kill Ashiok, but Ashiok wasn't a problem before, so there was really no need to keep that card just to deal with this Planeswalker.
Yeah, a lot of the Lotus lists we've seen haven't run Chandra.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I think with Archdruid's Charm, the mana just can't support 3 green and 2 red. It's definitely more of just a Simic deck now.
Not with that attitude. So Adrian going through the motions here, digging through the deck. Can he cobble something together here to win this matchup against Jesse Hampton? Ashiok preventing any searches whatsoever. Galvanic Iteration.
You know, one thing that could bite Jesse here with the play is not Ashioking post-combat.
Ah, right, yeah.
Because now the unauthorized exit's still in the yard.
It is,
where if
and we just saw a Lear.
Yeah, so if you could Lear and start untapping your lands and then exit the Ashiok, that minor sequencing issue there from Jesse could have really ended this. And wow, here we go. We might be doing this.
10 blue. Go to 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so what this means is Lear is online, the exit's going to bound to Ashiok, and now you have 2 impulses to find Emergent Ultimatum. Like at this point, I think Adrian's favored all because Ashiok wasn't activated post-combat.
Post-combat, yeah.
There,
Goodness, that was it, yeah.
I think that was it.
That was
oh,
a full card,
no.
I think. Oh,
Wow.
that is brutal.
Yeah, because there's 3 blue. You have the hidden strings in the yard. I believe Adrian had one in hand, so that counts as double hidden strings.
Yeah, siphon onto Lear.
Yep. Anytime it's in your graveyard and you flash it back with Lear, you always siphon it.
Man.
Magic's hard.
Yeah, especially in this matchup. Like, that's just incredible stuff here.
Yep.
Unauthorized
I had one
exit,
floating plus this. Yeah.
taking care of the Ashiok, so that'll bounce to hand. And now it's, you know, have fun, Adrian.
Yep. Now everything's wide open. Now there is no spell mastery in the graveyard right now. That is relevant.
Yeah.
And that was a relative brick. I believe that was another hidden strings.
Okay.
So we'll see if Emergent Ultimatum, if it was indeed in the hand, if that's going to be enough.
I think he's got one at the very least.
Yeah.
4 mana. Yep. Go down to 2 strings.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Stringy things happening. 2 Lotus Fields available.
8 mana.
8 mana, 2 blue.
Strings again. Just in case there was a Spell Pierce, we know there's
Yeah.
only one in list, but... Oh, it was a Triumph.
Oh, yeah. it
Oh,
looks like-
okay.
yeah, that was a Triumph. I still think there's an ultimate. No, is there?
No, it looks like Omniscience and Otawara. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's enough, but wow, Adrian had a chance at this
Jeez.
one.
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah,
Wow.
if I hit like 4, but I
He has
just had
3
one.
points.
Yeah, I can hear him saying, "Oh man,
Yep.
if I just hit this," but that was close. I bet Jesse was clenching a little bit there.
Yeah,
He was like,
absolutely.
You know, it's these tiny little decisions that could be the difference between ending the
Yep.
day undefeated or being 7-1.
Yeah, and it really looked like, you know, Jesse was just going to win on the spot here, but wow, there's that opening hand of a mulligan down to 5 here from Adrian.
Wow.
Adrian is on the play, though. We'll see if there's a Spell Pierce.
That's fine.
Yeah, and that resolves by the sound of it. So Sylvan Scrying going to go and find a land.
Yeah.
Would you like to take a guess at which land, Corey?
You know, I'm going to probably guess Lotus Field. Yep,
You would be
got
right.
it.
Graveyard.
And Jesse asked how many cards in hand, like he was considering Spell Piercing that. I think if you have the Spell Pierce, you have to snap Spell Pierce that one.
Yeah. Just keep him off any semblance of a combo. Ledger Shredder. Looks like that's going to be the play this turn for Jesse.
Okay.
Developing threats. Let's see what else he can follow
Excellent.
that up with.
Excellent turn to do so. You know, this is really the one spot where you can play Shredder because we're going to see this Lotus Field now. The odds that Adrian can win on this turn is so incredibly low, especially on a multi 5. It's probably impossible.
Yeah.
But next turn, it's definitely possible.
Done.
Yeah.
You know, we see a couple of the stifle effects showing up in these lists, the strict proctor
Yep.
kind of things happening, but none of that right now for Adrian, so has to sack the 2 lands, and we got Young Pyromancer on the board alongside Ledger Shredder, so consider we're going to start making little elementals, we're going to start digging through the library.
Trigger resolves.
Yep,
Looking
absolutely.
good for Jesse.
And yeah, we saw Sean Goddard was not playing Archdruid's Charm, the only player playing
yeah?
Lotus not playing it, and opted for the Strict Prospector,
yeah.
that kind of avenue. But otherwise, everyone's playing the Charm, and it's looked great, so I think I'd be
Definitely.
playing that card for sure.
In for 2 goes the Ledger Shredder. Young Pyromancer is such a fun card.
Yeah.
It's so great. You know, we saw that sequence in the previous round where it's just like counter, 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 creature, 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 creature. It's great when you can get value of your reactive spells.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you gotta, everybody's loving this Vampires deck, and you know, I am as well. I think it's a great deck, but you gotta think maybe this Lotus Field list with these Charms has gotta be the deck of the weekend so far. But hard to count
Time will
out good
tell.
old-fashioned Izzet Phoenix as well.
He's on mine too.
Yeah.
Hello, Ashiok.
Minus 30 you.
You mean?
Yeah.
Adrian laughing that one off, and I think that's because he's not feeling good about it. Not feeling good about that one.
16.
Cards milled, graveyard gone. No more searching for Adrian as it stands.
And the thing about this is Adrian had the ability to win this game because he already had the Fae of Wishes in hand last game.
Yeah.
You know, you still have to search for Fae of Wishes to be able to find it off the charm. So this is going to be a lot taller of an ask for Adrian to get out of this too, because the Ashiok last game, there wasn't a ton of pressure. It was just the Shredder. Here there's pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And Adrian had 2 more cards last game, so,
Yeah.
and still lost.
Yeah. Mulligan to 5 is never a fun time.
Yep,
As we
100%.
see an opt here, get another creature, able to apply pressure and just start swinging in.
You have 5.
Once he's messed a couple more of those. Viziers do a good job of blocking.
Yep. Holding down the ground force. We're going to see Shredder come in, so it's not a ton of pressure. But we did see Jesse take 2 for that Steam Vent, so you got to think Jesse has some action here. All right, and Jesse just passed here, so we'll see if there's just end step tricks or, you know, there is just a world where Jesse's going to take 2 no matter what because, well, Jesse's not going to lose the game with life totals.
No.
Just always take it.
I want options. Maybe he just likes hitting himself.
Yeah, there you
Who
go.
knows?
And then watch, this is going to be the one game where Vizier of the Tumbling Sands gets it done.
Things on my bingo card.
Yeah, there you go.
Picklock Prankster, gonna mill some stuff. Let's see, find a mystical dispute. Hey, we got a bird off of the mill. Heck yeah.
Wow, picks the Lightning Axe. That's surprising to me. 1, because it's still in the deck. and 2, because you didn't want to dispute. I guess Adrian has so much mana right now that Mystical Dispute kind of, you know, Lightning Axe
idea.
already delays 3 mana as well, so it's kind of like the same card.
Resolve this.
Yeah, you can say 3. I'll just play. I'll copy.
I'll discard
You copy, okay?
Yeah.
Makes a copy of the Lotus Field,
Just
so
Lightning Axe resolve.
Yeah.
now we got a nice, like, little untapping thing happening here. So one of these Viziers taken out,
Yep.
cutting off 3 mana at the very least.
And Adrian still does have 9 mana essentially, and I saw Emergent Ultimatum, and normally you're like, well, that's it. But with Ashiok in play, it just doesn't
Does not.
do anything. I think there is a pour over the pages as well and a hidden string, so can at least go for a pour.
Here's a pay.
Is it trickiness or is that a triumph this time around?
Yeah.
I think it's an ultimatum.
Yeah, that time I think it is, but it might be 2 hidden strings, not 100%. So that was an excellent flip there. Not only did Jesse find the best card in his deck, but Galvanic Iteration as well
Yeah.
to copy a Treasure Cruise if need be.
Oh, that's so gross. It's so many cards.
6 cards, please.
Yeah. Here we go, delving away for Treasure Cruise. Looks like he's going to hang on to that
2 new.
Galvanic.
Yep.
Shredder trigger first.
What do we find off of that?
Sleight of hand discard is definitely a sign of strength here.
3 cards now. There's another Phoenix, I believe.
Haven't played land yet, right?
You have not?
Nope, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
As that Steam Vent was
Because last
taken.
turn- so last
Yeah, he had
turn,
5 lands at
exactly.
the beginning of this turn.
You are like. Yeah, I think it's fine because last turn I remember you shocking for like 2 open mana. Yeah, I
Yeah.
shock him.
I mean, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'd open mana. I'm pretty sure I haven't played a land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm quite sure. Go for it. Yeah.
It's the most asked question in Magic, I'm sure. Have I
Yeah.
played a land?
Jesse's just like, this is the only way I'm not winning this game is I accidentally play an extra land or something like that.
Trespass.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Wow.
Boy.
Are we just all done here? So
I
here
think
comes
so.
Phoenix. That's 1 more.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, and all of the elementals as well.
Right, yeah.
Whee!
Wow.
Ah, that's it. Man, Jesse
Incredible.
Hampton pulling out another victory there. 2-0, undefeated.
Yeah.
8-0 to end his day.
And winning in the bad matchup as well, and winning 2-0.
That's the second Lotus deck he's beat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really just shows the power of Ashiok, because I do not think Jesse was going to win game 1 without Ashiok. And then game 2, you know, there's a solid chance that Jesse would have won without it with the mulligan to 5 and stuff like that, but it was not for sure wrapped up. So good job, Team Handshake, and the hot tech that they have with that. That was really nice.
I think we're going to be seeing some more birdies fly this weekend, but we have another match to get to, and Maria's going to tell us more about it.
Coming up next, it's a battle of who has the better Boros beatdown build, Albert, Queralt, Garriga, or Simon Nielsen.
Boros Convoke is no joke if it's able to play a Venerated Loxodon and Knight Errant of Eos ahead of schedule. But with Boros Heroic, it can go tall and say that's all if Simon Nielsen has the perfect draw.
Very nice. It's a Boros beatdown coming up next. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour Murders at Karlov Manor. I'm going to say it like that every time.
Please do.
Okay, from Chicago, Illinois, I'm Ailey Loney alongside Corey Baumeister, and we have more magic for you, friends, which is always a good thing because we like magic. Albert Garriga up against Simon Nielsen. And it is a battle of the Boros, my friend. Who do you like more, Convoke or Heroic?
You know, I think I like the Convoke side a little bit more, but I never really want to count out Simon Nielsen or whatever deck that they decide to bring. You know, we saw Simon Nielsen lose that match to Logan Nettles against Rakdos Sacrifice, and that's a really bad matchup, and then just has not lost since. So it's hard to count out this Boros Heroic deck, but I would put the favor to the Convoke deck going into it.
We're jumping into game number 2 here. Albert is up a game, so it'll be a tall order here for Simon Nielsen to win 2 games in a row here. So let's jump into it and see who can get off to a blistering start first. The favored Hoplite start things off.
Yeah, and this is really 2 ships passing in a night-style magic. You know, neither player is really going to interact too much. We do see one piece of interaction here with that Torch of the Tower in hand for Albert there, but doesn't fire it off right now. I feel like, you know, that's the only time to do it, you know? As these creatures just get out of control so fast. So, especially being on the draw, I think I would have really liked to just deal with that card and hope Simon doesn't have another creature, because these Boros Heroic decks are very creature light.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go Legionnaire here, then Albert is going to look, you know, like a genius for not doing it, because that card is much more scary.
Man, that 10th District Legionnaire is such a cool card. I
So
used to love
good.
playing it with Feather. No Feather in this list. That kind of makes me sad. But you
Yep.
know what? It's okay. We can't have all our toys. We do see a Defiant Strike here on the hoplite, so getting swole, getting cards, and getting the buff as well. Ooh, followed up with Homestead Courage.
Okay.
Love to see it. More counters and vigilance, so.
Yep. And now this creature's completely out of range.
Mm-hmm. It's at a 5 toughness now.
Yep. 5 toughness. And looking at Albert's hand, we see a Novice Inspector, Torch the Tower, Demolition, and another non-Convoke card.
Yeah.
So doesn't really have that absolutely powerful draw
When you reach
here.
for the dice.
No idea.
It's gonna blow up some stuff. Gonna get some goblins.
And
Which is always a good use of
Wow.
clues.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to store some evidence and get some critters.
You hear Simon say, and? Like
Yeah.
you got to play something else? And no 5-mana Convoke card to add to the battlefield.
Oh, that would have been sweet. That's like
Yep.
an ideal turn. What's it, 2?
Yeah, and I mean, that is what is the power draw
Yeah.
with these Boros Convoke decks. You need the Demolition. You need the Gleeful Demolition to make that draw work, but if you can have the 5-drop with it, your deck looks incredible.
Monstrous Rage now, too, making sure that damage gets through, so no chump blocking for these little goblins. Down to 13 goes Albert, and things are looking real good here for Simon. I think you're right, Corey. That hoplite needed to die.
It really did. You know,
10 power, but-
still to be determined if there was another creature in Simon's hand, and there was the Legionnaire, so it was probably going to be rough no matter what for Albert, but I think you do just have to kill the creature, especially when you're on the draw.
He's down to 4. And that's going to do it for this game. So evening things up there pretty quick, did Simon Nielsen.
Yeah. Yeah,
will
if you're
be
looking to
game
take a
2
break
has
right
ended.
now, don't do it because these games are going to be very fast. With
One
these
way
two
or another.
hyper-aggressive decks. Have to be one of the 2 fastest decks
Oh, yeah.
in the entire room.
Absolutely. Let's take a look here. We can peep at the opening hands. Both players look like they kept 7, so that's good for us.
Ooh, I think that's a 5 actually for
Or
Albert.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, 3-minute Spectre. Starting things off. That's a good 1-drop to have, though.
Yep. And I think we see one more land, and I saw one more 1-drop, so nothing great for Albert so far.
Monstrous
And a
Swift Spear, yeah.
plethora of options there for Simon.
Inspiring Vantage. So we've got the lands, we've got the hoplite. What's your first drop? Yeah, let's get the hoplite down.
Huh? One thing I didn't for sure see was a second land for Simon, so we'll see if that is found.
It's a deck of 1-drops. You don't need land.
Exactly. 1-drops and cantrips, yeah. It's aggressive Izzet Phoenix, basically.
Sure. Oh, boy. Did we find another land? There you go. Easy beats. Inspiring Vantage number 2.
And just a pass from Albert, just looking to sacrifice this clue instead of playing that Voldarian Epicure. I guess there is a Resolute Reinforcement as an option as well, but who knows? Albert really might try to sack this clue, just try to just get one of these 5-mana Convoke creatures.
Yeah. So in we go, Homestead Courage once again. 2 counters and Vigilance. So
you
down
are
to
at
17.
17.
And Simon probably just going to play a creature post-combat. Could also have Reckless Rage.
Yeah, that would be pretty
That is the
pretty
one.
rude.
Yeah, yeah. That is the one nice thing about the heroic side, is that removal spell specifically.
Yeah.
To be able to just slow down Albert. Yeah.
It's like the one-piece interaction, you know, barring any of the other effects that give protection or indestructible.
Yeah.
Reckless Rage is great on these creatures that get counters when targeted, so.
Yeah, I would imagine Simon probably sides out some of the protection spells. Probably not as important.
Oh, yeah, for
You know,
sure.
God's Willing, Sajiri Shelter type things.
3 cards.
So Valdar and Epicure on the board now, alongside the Thraben Inspector. What else we got in hand there? Another Defiant Strike. Looks like a Monstrous Rage, too.
Yeah, Swift Spear as well.
Yeah.
Just a handful of gas here.
Oh, yeah.
Looking good for Simon.
Not bad for someone who almost missed the first 3 rounds, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Could have had a much different day if he didn't get here a couple minutes in time.
Some of these players like playing in hard mode, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Simon was player of the year last year. He's got to challenge himself a little bit.
Got it. Next, we playing blindfolded. Who knows?
There you go.
Followed up here with our lovely double striking Illuminator Virtuoso.
And now here's the thing with this Convoke deck. It's like, now what does the best turn look like for Albert? It's like, yeah, it's playing one of these Convoke cards, maybe adding a couple extra creatures to the battlefield, and then saying go. Well, I don't think there's going to be another turn.
No.
You know, with these 3 creatures that are all getting buffs every time you cast a spell, as well as the double strike.
Yeah, that connives.
From the Virtuoso. The Virtuoso is the scariest creature in the deck by far.
Monstrous Rage on that guy?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just GG. So Albert's got to be wary of that.
And starting off with sacrificing a blood here is probably not ideal. There is a piece of removal to deal with the Virtuoso. That probably is the best option here.
Yeah, that is something you absolutely want to fire off when you have the ability to. So could see it in response to the Monstrous Rage just to get that little bit of value.
I don't think you can afford it, because if Simon has a couple more spells and you're able to connive and get it out of range, it's going to be a nightmare. But Albert agrees with you, is going to look for the max value play, and it could easily be extremely punishing here.
It could. Torch the tower can do a little extra damage if something's bargained away.
Yeah. And I think I see 2 Reckless Rages in hand, a land, and a Defiant Strike.
Yeah, this is just pure gas. If you want to know what a good game looks like for this heroic deck, well, you're looking at it.
Yeah, and Simon discarding one of the spells has got to just be very deflating.
Yeah.
And I think Albert's trying to get this Illuminator Virtuoso on the next spell, but it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Sideways to mark which of them played this turn for prowess purposes.
Yeah. The Swift Spear is also getting chunky, so only one of these creatures will get trample, and this is another Monstrous Rage in hand.
Yeah, but even if they're just all giant and Albert's chump blocking.
Yeah, that's not a winning strategy.
Yeah, Boros Convoke is not a deck that comes back from behind without a battlefield. They have to always be ahead and close out the game quickly.
Well, let's go. Turning things sideways, well, 2 of them at least.
There you go, yeah.
The other one has Vigilance, so that is a terrifying threat indeed with a double strike. So how do we block?
And here we go, not even going for towards the tower. Here's that. And Simon's got to be nodding like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
that resolved.
This is great news for Simon Nielsen.
Yeah, the Monstrous Rage giving the double strike or trample plus the Defiant Strike. 2 connive triggers off of those.
What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A potential 5 extra power just off those cards.
I can't count that high.
Math is for the player of the year.
There you go, yeah. No, math is for Albert, the blocker right now, yeah.
True, yeah, you can see him counting there. Trying to find the best way to, you know, try and get some of these threats off the board and survive.
Yep. And right now it doesn't have trample, you know, so
so
these blocks look totally reasonable.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. So first things first. Monstrous Rage.
Yep.
We're going to connive.
Creature.
Gets
There's
a counter.
the roll.
Has trample and +1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 power right now.
No, it's 6 power right now because the +2/+2 from the Monstrous Rage. So it's 7 power now after the Defiant Strike.
Yeah, that's it. Goodness me. That card's cool. This deck is sweet. I'm so glad that this has made an appearance here, and I'm so glad it's Simon Nielsen playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to look, the only loss that Simon Nielsen had all day has to be the deck's worst matchup by far. Rakdos Sacrifice with Claim the Firstborn, a bunch of Fatal Push, Mayhem Devils, stuff like that. Any matchup where Simon didn't play against stuff like that, just won them all.
Awesome stuff indeed. We have more Magic for you, friends. We're going to jump straight into it. It is Schütz versus Nettles. So let's see if Izzet Phoenix can win against Rakdos Sacrifice. This is the deck that beat Simon Nielsen. You were just talking about it.
Yep. And speaking of decks that beat other decks, this is what Logan Nettles says is his worst matchup.
Yep.
You know, and he was like, yeah, this seems maybe kind of wrong to play, as Izzet Phoenix is the most played in the deck, and he knew it would be. You know, but with Pioneer, the metagame is so spread out. Like, you know, Phoenix being 17% of the metagame,
Yeah.
that means you're only going to play the deck, you know, 2 times out of your 10 rounds. That's totally reasonable. So I like Logan Nettles' deck choice, as he just knows it so well. But definitely up against it here after his 4-0 start, facing down the worst matchup here in the last round.
Yeah, and Stefan Schütz up a game already. But starting things off here with a Thoughtseize, so he's going to get rid of the Picklock Prankster. Doesn't want to be helping out Stefan here and discarding any of those Arclight Phoenixes, so...
Yep, and with a 1-lander there, if there was only one opt, I think Logan would have been a lot more tempted to take that and try to prevent the second land drop. But, you know, if your opponent does draw out of that and you take one of the not-so-great cards, you feel really bad after they get the second land, and Stefan already drew it.
Yeah.
That one's going to help
Well,
out, get some
never
Phoenixes.
That one you can't really help because you don't get to pick what they discard.
Yeah.
So, yep, Phoenix in the bin. Thanks, Croxa.
Yeah, your comment didn't age well there, huh? One turn.
Oh boy. Looks like Logan's pen is deciding it wants to get in on the action here.
It's been on the sidelines the whole time. Yeah.
Ledger Shredder on the board. Let's see what Stefan can string together here. Up against Logan Nettles, who is on the back foot in this matchup. Is at 5-2, so not the greatest record, but still a very good day's work indeed.
An incredibly good sideboard card here
nice.
for Logan. Being able to hearse away that Phoenix anytime. And now we're going to see Logan always doing math. Be like, if this op resolves and you put the op to the yard and then you play a land, can you Treasure Cruise? If the answer is yes, we're going to see Logan hearse it up.
Hearse it up.
Yep.
Nice. You should trademark that.
And with that on red, there's no way to cast another spell here, so Logan's pretty safe to just let this resolve and then end step, hearse away an Arclight Phoenix and a spell. And then more than likely, we're going to see Logan kind of have to main phase the hearse. Something you don't always want to do, just in case Stefan were to discard Phoenixes the same turn that he plans to bring it back. But it's still more important to cut off Treasure Cruise as a card.
Ooh. Hey, buddy. Mayhem Devil hits the board here. No sacrificing happening at the moment, though, so it's just sitting there saying, you know, please remove me.
Yeah, and there was the draw step hearse, like I was saying, because, well, the Treasure Cruise was there. There's land 4,
Yeah.
could have cruised. And now the one thing Stefan's missing is land, not land number 4, but a second red source
Yeah.
to Brotherhood's end away the hearse. The hearse is that important that even a 1-for-1 removal on that, Stefan would have been happy to do that this turn.
Yeah. Employing strategy number 2 here for Stefan and just hard casting these Arclight Phoenixes, chipping in the damage when possible. But now Logan Nettles, let's see what it can follow up here. Croxa again, we'll have a sacrifice trigger and a discard trigger. So we will get an extra point of damage across with our little Mayhem Devil.
Yep, and Logan playing 2 Croxas. We don't see a lot of decks with 2 of that powerful card, although it is just an incredible card in that deck.
It's just like an extra Thoughtseize if you think about it.
Yeah.
Kind of, not really.
A Thoughtseize that has to take Arclight Phoenix in this matchup.
For sure. Oh man, so Phoenix is on blocking duty here.
Yeah. All right.
Respecting this Mayhem Devil and the damage it can output.
Yep. There is the second red source, and we'll see if Stefan agrees to just have to Brotherhood's end away the hearse. Yep.
Hearse down. Those cards remain in exile. Much to Stefan's dismay.
Yep, but all the cards in the exile already with just that one Treasure Cruise, you have essentially 7. If Arclight Phoenix dies, 8, maybe you top deck a land, and then you got that ability to cast Treasure Cruise, but then you're tapping out. That card's a lot better when it costs 1 mana.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We all love free stuff, or at least discounts in this case.
Yep.
So there we're going to see the trade, Arclight Phoenix and the Mayhem Devil off the board.
Interesting attack there from Logan. That signifies to me that it's going to be land 4 plus Croxa, which is going to be awesome. There it is.
Here he comes, the big old Titan back on the board, forcing another discard. Oh, and it gets the treasure cruise. So now we're just playing off the top of the library here for Stefan.
Okay.
Can he string together 3 spells here?
Yeah, the best thing is opt into into treasure cruise. And I mean, that's the thing about these Izzet Phoenix deck. These draws, you know, we kind of laugh that off, but it's possible. It's very possible to do that. And then your deck just looks incredible.
All right, another Phoenix just going to be on blocking duty here.
Okay.
But even being able to chump block, we still have the attack trigger from Croxa, and we're still going to see 3 points of damage coming through. Even more now with the Den of the Bugbear jumping into action here, along with the cat and the goblin that it creates.
Yep. This is the scenario of block, hope to string together 3 spells to put Phoenixes into play to just block again.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's not going to be enough, though. Nothing off the top of the library there. So Croxa coming in clutch for Logan Nettles. Very cool indeed.
And I think that game was won pretty much solely on the back of the unlicensed hearse.
Yeah.
Such an important card in this matchup.
Great sideboard tech indeed for Logan Nettles. Kicking things off with my favorite card, my other favorite card, I guess, Cauldron Familiar. We're going to see a Consider from Stefan Schütz.
We'll see
Chucking away a little Picklock Prankster.
We'll see if Logan has the powerful 2-mana artifact. Once again, there's 2 of them in the sideboard.
Sleight of handing. Taking a look at some more cards. What do we keep?
I saw one of my favorite cards in those 2 cards, and it's Crackling Drake. Old Crackles here.
That card's sweet. I
That
like
card
it a
is
lot.
sweet. Looks like it was put to the bottom for a shredder, but I don't see another land for Stefan.
Yeah, that's kind of necessary if you're going to be casting multiple spells a turn.
Yeah. Okay, big draw step. There's not even a red source to cast one of those lightning axes. Oh!
No. Not like this.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is why we still play the games, even though it's a bad matchup, you know? Earlier this round, Jesse Hampton playing against Adrian in the bad matchup there. The bad matchup, you know, Phoenix ended up winning in the bad matchup here. Here's another really bad matchup in favor of the Phoenix deck this time, and it's looking great for Logan.
Yeah, this is rough for Stefan Schütz. Super unfortunate to not find a land.
On the bright side, at least next turn, if you miss the land drop, you get to discard
Oh,
your
yeah,
Phoenix.
that is a bright side.
Not a great one.
Oh, boy. It's a little less dim side, I guess, as we're going to see Fable the Mirror breaking now for Logan Nettles. Just finding all the gas he could possibly need. And we have an oven now, too. So cat oven combo almost assembled.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Bricked. I mean, we do get to probably have to discard an Arclight Phoenix. Did find a Consider. You're getting closer to treasure cruising, so it's not the absolute worst, but definitely a train wreck here.
I don't know. If we're talking train wrecks, this is as close to a train wreck as you're going to see.
Yep, this is pretty bad. But with a Consider in hand, and if you find a land, that's 5. You're still short on Treasure Cruise. Yeah, this is all bad.
I'm glad we've convinced you, Corey. Oh, boy. Alrighty. Well, definitely mana not being a problem here for Logan as he ramps himself, courtesy of the Goblin Shaman swinging in here. Treasure token. What's the next play here?
And Logan's hand looks stacked. I saw Fable and Mayhem Devil. That's pretty much enough, but also a Duress in there, plus land 4.
Oh, boy. Yep. Here we go. Let's just keep piling on the pressure here. Let's get this game over and done with, says Logan Nettles before we see land number 2 at this rate, because there's not another one to be found. Land? Nope. Land?
Wow.
What?
Unreal.
He's having the inverse luck that we saw Utah have earlier with the Azorius control deck.
Yeah, brutal as the last game of your day to end like this.
Man.
You know, you always want to go to dinner with a win.
Yeah.
No matter your record. Dinner always tastes better when you win that last match.
Yeah. That's real rough for Stefan Schütz.
Yeah.
Super unfortunate, but Logan Nettles, you know, he's just going to be business as usual. Let's get this game won and end on a 6-2 record for the day.
You're at 16.
Yeah, and now the reflection flipped. Mayhem Devil can come in. There's 3 treasures. Cat Oven is still going on, so there's a chance it's game right now. Like, you see the math here. And even if it's not, there's no way Stefan puts up a board to defend himself enough for next turn. So I think this one's just all but over.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Stefan
devil?
just going through the motions at this point. Do you have a devil? Yes. Yes, he does, and that is going to be the handshake extended from Logan Nettles. So congratulations to him, 6-2, wrapping things up quite nicely there.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting 4-0. If you go 4-0 into 5-3, you feel pretty bad. You know, that's a bit of a rough record. So a nice save there from Logan. And these two players, of course, are friends. So kind of talking out like, yeah, you did get incredibly unlucky. That's for sure, buddy.
Certainly did, but looking forward to seeing these matches in action tomorrow. So what is your deck of the day, if we can pull that from the desk?
You know, I mean, we did see Izzet Phoenix take it down with the 8-0, you know, Jesse Hampton taking it down, but I was really impressed with Adrian and the Lotus Field deck with the charms, you know, so I will say that we didn't see vampires a ton.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say we're going to call that deck a flop by any means, but it didn't dominate today like we were kind of all hoping. It didn't rip out too many veins.
We wanted to see the new fun thing do the fun thing.
Yes.
But yeah, well, let's see if the desk agrees with you, Corey, as we're going to send it over there right now.
Hey, thank you so much, Ailey and Corey. Welcome to the news. That's Mary Bartholdi, Cedric Phillips, and Riley Knight here as we wind down day 1 of competition. There is still one match out.